These are the best characters to farm in Marvel Strike Force for July of 2022. We're breaking down the top 10 along with some T4 and Iso-8 recommendations. So if you're ready to count down this list with me, Valley Club, you know what to do. Find that like button and let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Hello, Valley Club. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're ready to count down this list with me. And if this is your first time here on the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. And if you're returning, welcome back. We're breaking down the top 10 free-to-play farmable characters in Marvel Strike Force for July of 2022. Now, all of these are good characters that are on this list, and we actually have a large honorable mention section because there's a few characters that I was like, they should be on this list, but they didn't quite make that top 10. Now, some of this is based on my usage over the past month, so there's some subjectivity to this. So they have to have that versatility to be used in a lot of different game modes, and they have to have some value right now. And if these characters are very difficult to replace my roster, if they're very painful for me to replace, yes, there are gonna be value in this list. And if you're a newer player, this is kind of a glimpse of what you can expect as you start to approach the end game. If you're a mid-game player, these are some characters that you should start working on right now if you don't already have them built. And if you're an end game player, these are the most valuable farmable, aka free-to-play characters in this. So let's go take a look at who is not eligible. And there's a lot of great characters that are not eligible. Now, for them to make this list, to be considered free-to-play or farmable, they have to be available on a node or a store. We have included or a permanent legendary. We've included the achievement and login characters Hulk and Wolverine, but let's be honest, they haven't been that relevant for a while. Well, it's a little bit of relevance. Hopefully that will change with some of the rumors of the Gamma team coming up. But yes, so the value for this is based on Arena, Doom, the Greek Raids, War Offense, War Defense, Cosmic Crucible. If they're a Dark Dimension character, they're gonna get a little extra love as well. And if they unlock a legendary. So Tower Mode is not considered in this. The Pocket Dimension is not considered in this because who knows when they're gonna come back. All right, but that is it. These are the characters that are not eligible. A little bit of question about a few characters. First is Silver Samurai. He's in a Blitz Orb, which is very easy to retain, not considered for this list, just for consistency. Emma is in a Milestone Orb. She's also very easy to obtain over time, but just for the sake of this list, she's not considered for that. She probably would make that top 10. Same thing with Ghost Spider. She's very easy to get for these new raid milestones, but again, just for consistency, not including her on this list. So let's clear this off and let's go to the next section here. Boom. And the newly farmable characters, these are the characters that just became eligible since the last time we did this back in May of 2022. Magic, who recently became available on Heroes 6-9, so you can start to farm her very, very early and is an important part of that Uncanny X-Men team. Silver Surfer, available on Doom 1-9 right now. Yes, he is farmable. I know some people are like, I didn't know Silver Surfer was farmable, but he is on Doom 1-9. Very, very good character. Is he strong enough based on that criteria that I mentioned earlier to make this list? He's a very good, one of the best standalone characters, but does he have that usage to make this list? We will see in just a little bit. We also have Shang-Chi, who is in the Blitz store now. Yes, along with, he was moved out of that Blitz Orb with Silver Samurai, so he's now just in that Blitz store, very, very farmable. And Dagger just was made available in the Arena store for that increased cost of 975 Arena credits. All right, let's clear this list off and let's begin this top 10 list for July of 2022. Starting off with the number 10 character on this list, Spider-Man, moving down 4 spots from last month. He is a very good character, part of that Web Warriors team. And let's go and see why he is so good. Boom, Spider-Man. He's a very good character. He has a very good kit. He has a lot of defense downs that he could apply on the enemy team. He has a stun and slows that he can apply on the enemy team. Let's talk about T4s for this character. I think one of the best that you could put on him is his passive right here. 69% of users on MSF.GG have this. It's gonna help himself and all Web Warriors, which is a very important team for the Doom raids right now. Also very valuable in war right now as well. You could also use Spider-Man for unlocking the legendary Shuri, who is a permanent legendary right now. And yes, these are some of the best T4s. So his passive is very, very good. I like his special right here, but if you're saving T4s, you can kind of skip that. Because it's going to give more damage. It's going to change to a few more. And it's going to give him a little bit more drain. But I really like this passive here. More dodge chance, more speed, and then filling the speed bar anytime him or a web warrior dodges. So very, very good passive there. And yes, like I said, very good for the raids. Very good for war. Is important part of that team. Most people, 58% of users on MSF.GG have that Raider Iso-8 class on normals, Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Skirmisher is also another viable option if you're having trouble with the focus, landing some of his debuffs on the field. But yes, very, very good character. And if you want to farm Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, he's available in the Blitz store. So very, very easy to obtain character. Let's move back to this list and continue with the countdown. Let's move on to number 9. Coming at number 9 this month, boom, is Squirrel Girl. Now, she is on this list a lot because of that Scourge event. I've been using her in the war. The Young Avengers are very good on war offense or war defense. Squirrel Girl is probably the #1 character on that Young Avengers team. Also good in the raids if there are some raid lanes, particularly in the Greek raids. Not as much in the Doom raids because you're going to use your web warriors there, but in there. And then very good, the Young Avengers as a whole on either offense or defense in Cosmic Crucible. And as far as Dark Dimension, very good character in Dark Dimension, the city section of there. She just wrecks the enemies. And you could also use her for that Scourge event, like I said, for that Rogue unlock, probably the most important character on the for that entire Rogue unlock, because she has the healing, she has the debuff removal, she has that cleanse, and you're going to need her on nodes 5 and 10 if you're going for these higher difficulties. So let's go take a look at her kit and see why she is so good, and look at her T4 recommendations. She has a few that I would recommend, and the first one is going to be her passive. 61% of users on MSF.GG have this. This gives her the drain, this gives the Young Avengers the drain. It helps them survive, not just with their passive there. And then also this one, it doesn't have a lot of users that have this equipped. 45% of users have this equipped, but clearing all negative effects from allies instead of just 2. This is very, very valuable. This is probably the #1 move in that entire Scourge Rogue event right now. So very, very good character. And as far as Iso-8 recommendations, Healer seems to be the most used one. Almost 80% of users on MSF.GG have the Healer class equipped on Squirrel Girl, but Striker is another good target there if you're not having as much trouble with the survivability. So very good character, and she is farmable. You could farm her on Nexus 4-3. Let's move back to the list here, continuing the countdown. Moving on to number 8 is Sharon Carter, very important part of that Secret Avengers, using her every day in the Doom raids, and is going to give a lot of value. I've taken her into Dark Dimension. There are some other choices for Dark Dimension, but she's a very good character with her stuns, with her ability blocks, very low cooldowns. I don't personally use her in Arena, but I know some people use her in Arena. And if you don't have Dormammu and have that and are trying to counter that Dormhold team, Sharon Carter can help you with that stun and that ability block. But used every day in raids. They're very good in war, probably not in war defense, but using the Secret Avengers with Kestrel on war offense is very good. The Cosmic Crucible, particularly in room 6 now with that skill advantage there, does very good. And she is necessary to unlock Omega Red, which is one of the best characters in the game right now. Let's go take a look at some Iso-8 and T4 recommendations for her, see why she is so good. The first one that I want to mention is her special here. 69, almost 70% of users have this. Gives more damage to primary and secondary targets. The important thing here is ability block for 2 turns instead of 1. And this comes in very handy in that boss skill node in Doom 2 raids. So very, very good move. This is I think this is a no-brainer for the T4s. Same thing with this move right here. Instead of clearing 2 positive effects before she applies a stun, you're clearing all positive effects. which is gonna make sure that you're gonna hit this because she has a lot of extra focus for this. And if you're trying to ability block MILF or Agatha in Arena, yes, this is gonna help with that. It's not gonna clear the safeguards though, but it's gonna help giving that focus so you can land that stun. And if you have a disrupted there, you're gonna clear that off and apply that stun and slow. So these are the two most important T4s. You could skip the rest of them. And if you're looking at an Iso-8 class, Striker is the best class for Sharon Carter. Let's continue on with the list here. Moving on to number 7 is Maria Hill, jumping one spot above Sharon Carter. Now, the reason I value Maria Hill a little more is because of what happened in my second run of Dark Dimension. I think that the clears, the cleanse, the healing, and you're getting some extra troopers on the field as well, which may not be the best in Dark Dimension, but is very good for most game modes there, because the more enemies you have on the field, then the more likely your main characters are not going to get hit. She's very good in the raids, very good in the war, pretty much the same as Sharon Carter, and she is important for that Omega Red unlock. Let's go take a look at her kit on MSF.gg, see what T4s recommended for her, and she actually has a few of them. We move down here, her special is very good, getting 3 shield troopers instead of 2. They are good for the counterattacks, they're good for taking some pressure off of the enemies there, or off of your team there. The enemies might hit one of these troopers, so that is a good move. This ultimate, very, very good. The extra damage is nice, but clearing all negative effects from self, Avenger, and skill allies is very important instead of just one. So that is a no-brainer T4. And this more healing, this helps 50% chance to heal the most injured ally by 25% when you have that T4. Now, 50% of the chance of the time is going to do nothing, but I really like her, mainly because of this move, this shield care package right here. Healing and debuff removal, that cleanse is so important. And healer, because she is the healer on the team, 95% of users have that healer class. And if you want to farm her, she's available in the War Store. Sharon Carter, I missed it last time, she is available in the Raid Store. So both of them available in stores and decent to get. It's harder to get Maria Hill because that War Store is getting more and more crowded, but you can still get her. All right, let's move on with this list. Coming in at number 6 this month is Captain Salmon. One time he was the best free-to-play farmable character in the game. He's moved down 3 spots from last month, but just like the rest of the Secret Avengers, very good in the raids, using them every single day. All 3 of these characters on the skill section of Doom raids right now, and he does a lot. Also is an Omega Red unlock, using him in War, using him in Crucible, using him all over the place. And I'm doing my 3rd run of Dark Dimension, and he's very valuable in the global section of Dark Dimension as well. Let's go take a look at Captain Sam's kit, see what T4s are recommended for him, and he actually has a few that are very, very good. You could skip his basic here as far as the T4s, but taunting for 2 turns for your tank is very, very good. Ability energy to 2 to 3 non-summon skill allies, and not just 1 to 2. So more ability energy, more taunting, which means more protection for the rest of your team. So this is important T4. More damage to all enemies, but the main thing that you want to do with this ultimate is getting more speed bar for yourself and skill allies. This moves it up from 5% speed to 10% speed. Very strong opening move here, and his passive is nothing to sneeze at either. More block amount, more max health, not just for him, but Secret Avengers allies. And in raids, the Secret Avengers skill allies gain 5% more max health. So very, very good character. Very good T4s on this. Like the rest of the Secret Avengers, is required to unlock Omega Red. And as far as Iso-8 recommendations, 88% of users on MSF.gg have Skirmisher equipped on Captain Sam. If you want to start to farm him, he's available on Doom 2.6. Moving back to the list, continuing with the countdown, coming in the number 5 spot this month is the previous number 1 character last month, Lady Deathstrike, falling down 4 spots. Part of the reasons is because of these tech rumors. And if you just were on Twitter, you saw the screenshot of Hulkbuster that was teased. So it looks like the tech team is the rumors are starting to come to fruition. It looks like they're gonna be the new tech team, and which means that Lady Deathstrike is losing value. But as of now, still a very, very valuable character because of her turn meter rewind. Using her in the tech section, the raids all the time, is part of that Weapon X team, which is the #1 team in offense in war. Also very, very valuable for Cosmic Crucible, and going through Dark Dimension again for the 3rd time, and she's valuable in the global section of Dark Dimension. All that turn meter rewind, all those bleeds, very, very good. Let's go take a look at her kit on MSF.GG. Take a look at her ISO-8 and T4 recommendation. All right, we got a lot. Now, some of these don't have a lot of users that have equipped these T4s, but applying 2 bleeds to each target instead of 1, that multiplies the damage by significantly. Now it's going to be damage over time because it's a bleed and not just extra damage, but these bleeds have a lot of damage, especially if you're bringing her into Dark Dimension and you already have her at gear 16. Rebound chain to more targets, but again, more bleeds here. So this is helping with damage. This isn't helping with the turn meter rewind or the other stuff that she does, but more bleeds equals more damage. I think that is very good. I think the #1 skill you want to put on her is this passive, though. 83% of users have this passive equipped. On dropping below 60% health, gaining 2 obeys. That makes her very, very hard to kill, in addition to all those bleeds and turn meter rewind. Lowering resistance for all enemies with bleed by 50%. So yes, more likely to land some of these other stuff, some of these debuffs that you're trying to land on the enemies. So very, very good. And as far as ISO-8 recommendations, 59% of users on MSF.GG have that striker class equipped to her. And if you want to farm her, she is available on Mystic 3-6. So pretty easy farm, early game farm if you don't have her. So highly recommended. Let's move on with this list. And coming in at the #4 spot this month is Miles. Now, Miles, you're going to use him in the same spots as Symbiote or normal Spider-Man, as the rest of the web words. Using him every single day in the bio section of Doom. Using them in war. They're great on war defense because they have so much RNG they could really annoy your opponents. Same thing for Cosmic Crucible, annoying your opponents. That's what the web warriors do. The reason that Miles has this nod over Spider-Man, you can unlock 3 legendary characters, 2 of the best characters in the game in Morgan Le Fay and Rogue. And Shuri right now still has a lot of value because the tech team are just rumors right now. So Shuri is still good, but Shuri may be losing value, but Miles has not. Let's take a look at his T4 and ISO-8 recommendations right now. And there's not a lot of T4s that I recommend for him. Actually, you don't have to use any T4s. None of these are really good. If you really want to do one, the best one that you could do though is this ultimate, disrupted to 3 targets instead of 1 additional target. So most of the enemies are going to get disrupted with this, which is very, very good. Avoiding some of those nasty taunts, especially like a Miss Marvel or someone that has that reactive taunt. This is a very good one. But that is about it. Now, as far as ISO-8 classes, Striker is the most popular class for Miles, with 77% of users on MSF.GG with that Striker class. And if you want to farm Miles, he's available in the Blitz store, and I think he's still available on Heroes 3.3. So very, very easy, and is a very important character, not just for these Scourge events. Both Scourge events, you can use Miles, Morgan Le Fay, and Rogue. But yeah, for the Web Warriors and his tags for Web Warriors. So very good character, highly recommended. Let's move on with this list and continue on. #3 this month is Dagger. Just became farmable and is an important part of the Mystic section of Doom. So using her every single day, and important part of the war team too. The new warriors are very good on war offense or defense, depending on where you want to use them. Same thing with Cosmic Crucible. Those new warriors, very, very tough. And she's a Mystic City character, so gets even more bonuses in Cosmic Crucible now with those changes to those rooms. Let's go take a look at her T4 and ISO-8 recommendations right now on MSF.GG. And there are a few that I like. Mainly this passive right here on spawn, 3 regeneration for 2 turns for herself and all Mystic Hero allies. Yeah, that helps them survive, take some of those initial hits, and more resistance. So more resistance to those debuffs coming on the team. 84% of users have that T4 equipped. And then her ultimate is also very good. I try to really preserve the cooldown on this because has a lot of damage and a lot of debuffs going to those enemies. More piercing and more damage if Cloak is an ally, and you're probably going to use them together. So this just does more damage, but this is such a strong move. I still would recommend T4ing that. The rest of the T4 is not that strong. If you want to look at the Iso-8 recommendations, for 84% of users on MSF.gg have that Striker class equipped to her. And like I said, she's available in the arena store at that increased cost of 975 arena credits. So get her, especially if you have Cloak. Cloak is farmable as well. Let's move on to the list. And as you probably guessed, Dagger does not go too far away from Cloak, but I think Cloak is a little better. So Cloak is at that number 2 spot this month, moving up 3 spots from last month, using the exact same place as the rest of the new warriors in the raids, in the war, on Cosmic Crucible. And like both of these characters, you could both use Cloak and Dagger in the city section of Dark Dimension. And with those Cosmic Crucible bonuses, both city heroes. So very, very good. You could use both of these characters for block party as well if you don't have that all finished up. Let's go take a look at Dagger and see his T4 and Iso-8 recommendations. He's got some good ones as well. Let's move down to his passive. More focus for self and mystic hero allies. That is very good. Focus is always a good thing. Landing your debuffs is very, very important. More dodge chance while his character has offense up. And I know, very, very annoying with the enemies. It seems like he's dodging all the time when the AI is controlling him. Dodges a little bit when I'm using him, but this is a very good T4. As you can see, 81% of users on MSF.gg already have that a T4, the passive T4. More damage to all enemies, more piercing damage if Dagger is an ally with his ultimate here. So I'd highly recommend this. Both of their ultimates in Cloak and Dagger are very, very strong with a bunch of debuffs and a bunch of damage. This special is okay, clearing all positive effects, actually clearing the or applying slow for 2 turns each. So I think I would recommend this one as well, although only 61% of users have this, but it's a single target attack. It's not going for all the enemies. So keep that in mind. This is not as valuable as the ultimate, but if you have some luxury T4s, this could be a pretty luxury T4 with that special there. But Cloak, very, very good character. He is available in the raid stores, so getting a little crowded there. It's not going to pop up all the time. There's a rotation of characters that you have to go through, so might not be the easiest to farm. But as far as T4 recommendations, the Iso-8 recommendations, Skirmisher. 94% of users have Skirmisher on him. Like I said, Dark Dimension, Block Party, both of these characters, Cloak and Dagger, very, very good. And moving on to the number 1 spot, the top farmable character in Marvel Strike Force for July of 2022. Newly added to this list is our boy Sharon, aka Shang-Chi. All right, let's talk about them. In War, Heroes for Hire is still the most annoying war defense team if you're not using one of the meta counters. There's more meta counters that you could fight against these characters, but if you're not using one of those, they're still very, very annoying. Using them in the raids, using them in the skill section along with the Secret Avengers every single day. And I've stopped using Zemo on that second node, just Shang-Chi all 3 nodes. So you're getting even more use out of him than I was previously. He's an annoying character on Cosmic Crucible. I think more people are using him on defense, but if you're using on offense, just that entire speed bar manipulation that he does in the entire team with a lot of damage is very, very annoying. All right, let's go into MSF.gg and take a look at his T4 and Iso-8 recommendations. And I think you could do all of them except for his basic here, unless you're like me and just want to complete it all. Let's move all the way down to the bottom and talk about what his passive does. This long wall of text. He does a lot of stuff here, but he's gonna get more crit chance, more block amount for self and hero for higher allies with deflect. This is pretty much just for war defense, but the crit chance does help. The block amount does help. Let's move on to his ultimate. This is his number 1 big move right here. Attacking all enemies, removing speed bar by 5%. With its T4, removing speed bar by 10%. So in my mind, this is probably the top choice, although 78% of users on MSF.gg have this T4. I think it's a lot more valuable than this, the passive right there. And then this special is also very good because it does heal. It didn't always heal, but it wasn't always labeled that it healed, but it heals. More damage than primary and secondary targets. Speed bar by 50%. That is good, which means that you're gonna be doing more moves and more likely to get this ultimate off even more. And then in war defense, just getting a little extra speed bar right there. So very, very good character. He is a city hero as well, so you could also use him in block party. And most users, almost 93% of users on MSF.gg have that radar class attached to him, primarily because of the ultimate there, just attacking all the enemies, putting disrupted on a lot of the enemies. And that is the list, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before we go, I do want to mention a lot of honorable mentions. There are a lot of honorable mentions that I feel should have been in this top 10. So, there was some subjectivity to why these characters weren't on the list, but Shuri, very good character. The legendary Shuri, still used in the tech section of the Doom raids every single day, but she's kind of falling because of the rumors of a new tech team coming up. So still very good character. You should get her, build up your Spider-Verse so you could unlock her. She's a permanent legendary character, very easy to get. Silver Surfer was just made available on Doom 1.9 and is a very good character, arguably one of the better characters in the game, but as far as his team and his usage, that is where he really falls. If he was missing from my roster, it wouldn't be good, but it wouldn't be losing as much as with these top 10 characters because I don't really use them on a daily basis. And Beast and Bishop, they probably should be on this list. The reason they're not for me is because on the Doom section, I run that left lane and not that right lane, which means the last section is the mutant section. Now, if you're in that right side, Beast and Bishop probably gonna have a lot more value for you in the Doom raids because you're doing the mutant section first. So Beast and Bishop, very good characters. I think Beast is a little more valuable than Bishop, but what kind of turned me off to them, they get one-shotted in the Doom section. Just even though they are built up and almost maxed, they get one-shotted by some of the characters in the Doom raids. So lose a little value, but still very, very good, and they probably should be on this list. Other characters that I do want to mention, Scarlet Witch, part of that Darkhold team. Not really seeing her too much in Arena, but when you're seeing a full Darkhold team outside of Arena, you're probably going to see Scarlet Witch on that team, so should farm her. Zemo is still a great plug-and-play character, but it's kind of losing value. I'm not really using him in a skill section anymore, not really seeing him in Arena anymore. Actually, I do see him in Arena sometimes to counter certain teams with that early ability block, so he's still a very good character. I mentioned Shuri. The rest of the Wakandas are very good for the Greek raids, particularly the Gamma raids that are going on right now. Cosmic Crucible, they are a Cosmic Crucible team. War, and then the Chaos Theory for all of your promo credits. And then based on the rumors, Vision and Iron Man, you may want to start working on them if you have some extra resources that you could divert away from this Scourge event and some of these other teams that are coming up. But that is it, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this list. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that subscribe button for more Marvel Strike Force content. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Share this with all your friends, all your alliance mates, and hit that notification bell so you know as soon as a new video goes up. That is it for today, though, Valley Club. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the Valley Club in the Morning stream, and we'll be back with a news video and a live stream on Friday to review that blog post. It is Amazon Prime Day, so coins.valleyflyin.com will take you to Amazon. It is an affiliate link. It supports the channel. Even if you're not buying Amazon coins, use that link, especially for today. Yes, big fist bump for everybody that used that. Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out.